The rain had just started to drizzle when Marcus Carter glanced at the cracked face of his wristwatch. He had exactly 40 minutes before his interview, the one interview that could change everything. His shoes, worn and scuffed, slapped against the wet pavement as he hurried down the narrow street, praying that the bus wouldn't leave him behind. Marcus was only 23, but life had already taught him that every opportunity mattered. Raised by a single mother who worked double shifts just to keep the lights on, he had promised her that this time, he would make it. This job wasn't just about him, it was about proving that all her sacrifices hadn't been in vain. As he walked, his mind replayed the words he had rehearsed all night, his introduction, his strengths, his dreams of contributing something meaningful to the world. His shirt clung to his back in nervous sweat despite the chill, and his resume, carefully folded inside a cheap leather folder, was tucked under his arm like a prized possession. Then, just ahead, his steps faltered. On the side of the road, an old sedan leaned awkwardly, its front tire flat and its hazard lights blinking weakly. Beside it stood an elderly man, probably in his 70s, his white shirt drenched in rain and his trembling hand struggling with a stubborn jack. The man's face showed both frustration and fatigue. Marcus froze. Every fiber of his body screamed at him to keep walking. He had an interview. He couldn't be late. Not this time. But the sight of the old man kneeling in the rain tugged at something deep inside him, something stronger than ambition. Marcus clenched his jaw. He could hear his mother's voice in his head, "Son, it's not just success that defines you. It's your heart." Without another thought, Marcus jogged toward the car. "Sir, let me help you with that," he said, kneeling beside the man. The old gentleman looked up, startled at first, then nodded gratefully. His voice was tired but kind. "I didn't think anyone would stop. Everyone's been driving past me for the last half hour." The jack was rusty, the bolts stiff, and Marcus's hands quickly turned slick with grease and rainwater. His interview clothes were ruined, mud streaked across his trousers, and his shirt tore slightly at the shoulder as he forced the stubborn tire loose. His watch ticked mercilessly, reminding him that the bus was long gone and that his dream interview was slipping away with every passing second. Still, he stayed. For almost 20 minutes, he worked tirelessly until the new tire was finally secure. The old man let out a relieved sigh. "Son, I don't know how to thank you. Not many people would stop for a stranger, especially in weather like this." Marcus forced a smile, wiping the rain from his forehead. "No need to thank me, sir. I just couldn't walk away." The man studied him for a moment, his sharp eyes softening. "You look like you were in a hurry. Did I make you late?" Marcus hesitated. He didn't want to admit it, but honesty won over. "Yes, sir. I had an interview, an important one. But it's okay. You needed help more than I needed to be on time." The old man's expression shifted, something thoughtful, almost unreadable. He placed a hand on Marcus's shoulder and said quietly, "Sometimes, the way we treat others when no one's watching says more about us than anything we put on a resume." Marcus didn't fully understand the weight of those words at the time. He shook the man's hand, then hurried away, though deep down he knew it was too late. When he finally reached the office building where the interview was scheduled, the receptionist shook her head apologetically. "I'm sorry, sir, the panel has already left. We can't reschedule." The disappointment hit Marcus like a punch to the chest. He stepped outside, leaning against the glass doors, rain still pouring down as he fought the lump in his throat. He wanted to scream at the unfairness of it all. He had worked so hard, only to lose everything in a moment of compassion. For the first time in a long while, Marcus questioned whether kindness was worth it. 3 days passed. Marcus spent those days looking for odd jobs, sending applications, and trying to ignore the growing doubt inside him. Then, one afternoon, his phone buzzed with an unknown number. Hesitant, he answered. "Mr. Carter?" the voice on the other end asked. It was deep and steady. "This is Richard Langston, CEO of Langston Enterprises. I'd like to meet with you." Marcus's heart skipped. I think you might have the wrong person, sir. I assure you, I don't, the voice replied warmly. You helped me on the roadside the other day. I was the old man with the flat tire. Stunned, Marcus could barely breathe. Richard continued, I was on my way to observe interviews that morning. What you didn't know was that the position you applied for reports directly to me. When you missed it, I was curious. Then I learned it was because you chose to help me, a stranger, rather than chase your own opportunity. That told me more about your character than any interview could. Marcus's knees went weak. He clutched the phone tighter, hardly able to speak. Sir, I don't know what to say. Say yes to lunch, Richard chuckled. I'd like to talk to you about your